I now call the regular city council meeting for the Abbeville City Council to order June 16th, 2026, 5:30 p.m. Kathy, please give me a roll call.
Councilman Campbell.
Here.
Councilwoman Broussard Strongly.
Here.
Councilman Blazel.
Here.
Councilman Corey.
I'm here.
Mayor, you have a quorum.
Okay, and let the record reflect that Councilwoman Broussard is walking in now. We will stand for a prayer in the pledge, and instead of a prayer, in lieu of a prayer this morning, or this evening, I ask that everyone bow their head for a moment of silence. We lost Councilman-elect Neil Reshord last week, and I'd like to have a moment of silence in his honor. Thank you. Please keep his wife and family and friends in your prayers. Now the pledge, Councilman Tony Hardy.
Pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Before we get started, please silence your cell phones. Somebody's went off during the moment of silence. Please silence your cell phones. We have quite a few presentations on the agenda tonight. We asked you to try to limit it to around 7 minutes. Anyone with public comments, you'll be asked for public comments at the beginning of the meeting, and you can also give public comments during the item of business, but please keep your public comments to the item of business, and we limit them to 3 minutes. That's to keep the meeting rolling. Remember, we are live streaming. We are required to do so by law. The camera is up here in the front, but it does pan, tilt, and zoom. So if you would like to make a comment, we ask that you come to the front. You state your name clearly for the record so Kathy can enter it in the record. And remember that you are on a live stream and it is preserved on the city YouTube page as we are required to do so by law. Once your item of business is finished, you are welcome to stay, but if you would like to leave, you can do so out the door to my left, which will lock behind you, or through the lobby. Just please do so quietly. If you leave, you would have to come back through the lobby to re-enter. That is it for what I have for housekeeping. We'll move on to public comments. Do we have any public comments on any agenda item prior to moving forward? None? You'll have an opportunity to do so during the agenda items. Personnel, item number 1, approval and ratification of the appointment of Chief Doris Longland Jr. as permanent fire chief.
Move. Second.
Motion and a second. Chief, will you please come up to the? Sorry. For the council and the audience, we had 8 candidates pass the exam. We had 4 candidates who chose to go through the interview process. Thank you to Councilman Broussard who attended the interviews with me. Also, we had a member of the union, the fire department union. Of the 4 applicants, was it 4 or 5? I think it was 5 applicants from the department. 3 declined the interview because they wanted to lend their support to Chief Doris. That's how well supported he is within his department. He is admired. He's admired and respected within the department. So it's my honor, Chief, to now take you from the interim position and appoint you permanently as the new fire chief of the Abbeville Fire Department. Yes. I don't think we have to do this, but do you accept the appointment?
I do. And briefly, I know y'all have a full agenda, but I do appreciate this and the support that I've gotten these past 6 months in the temporary role. Look forward to the future, getting the Abbeville Fire Department, where it needs to be and where we need to be to continue serving Abbeville into the future. Again, Mayor, Council, the other staff, behind the scenes here at City Hall that I've gotten to know and have lended some tremendous support with what it takes with the daily process that we don't see in the fire station that takes place here at City Hall that's required for our job. Thank y'all.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second on the table. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations. Item number 2, discussion and possible action relative to pay adjustments for certain personnel to align with current duties and certifications. Chris Gotro, you have the floor.
Yes, thanks, Mayor, Council. I bring before you today, one wastewater guy. Pat Landry is his name. He, has been with the city for, probably 15 years. Never been challenged to get his license. So myself and the mayor challenged him to get licenses, to, get state certified, to build their future. Pat is going to be the next guy in line probably to be the boss because he has that much knowledge. But we challenged him. He did it. He passed it. He's actually going to get his class 2s on the same class that we sent him to. You just have to wait a little while before you go do that. He's got his class 1s in wastewater. Wastewater is the ones that go from lift station to lift station and move sewer from one part of the town to the main lift station.
He's also working on his CDL.
Right. I'll come back to you when he gets his CDL for another pay increase for him. He is going to do his driving with Tony Moe tomorrow, and then he goes to the state examiner next week sometime to do his CDL. Sometime you pass it on the first one, sometime it takes twice because you got to do a walk around. So and they're studying for that. So as we take the Public Works Department forward, I'd like to ask for a 10% pay increase for Pat for that license.
And it is my recommendation that we give that raise. We had a long discussion about the need for people, qualified operators, people with the certifications. Actually, by law, they're supposed to get them to work in those departments. And so one way of encouraging, in the past, I think people have been promoted without ever fulfilling what was required by law of their job.
Right.
And so we got the motion, yeah. So anyway, this is a way of incentivizing these employees to actually go get the certifications and allowing us to give them a raise whenever they choose to achieve more in their careers. So
Right.
I support it.
We challenged him and he took on the challenge. So I appreciate that as his supervisor. So we're going to ask for a 10% increase on him. I have another guy that passed his water. I'll just touch on that a little bit. I'm not bringing him to you today because he has to finish getting his license. And to finish getting your license, you can pass the test, but you got to provide your high school diploma or your GED. So we're still waiting for him to bring that to us so that we can get his license. And when he does that, I've been asking for 2 months now. When he brings it and we turn it in and he gets his license in hand, we'll come back for him. He's in the water department on the street. He's on Larry Moore's crew. Okay. And the next one would bring.
Let's take, I think we should probably take action on that one since the motion and second's already been made. So we have a motion and a second to approve the 10% raise for Pat Landry for his certificate for wastewater operator number 1, right?
Wastewater.
Distribution 1.
He's got collection.
Whichever it is. Okay, any other questions or comment on Pat Landry? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Raise hand.
I want to pass this one off and go on to this one next. I'm going to need these back though. This is a public works technical assistant. As we evolve this public works department, I'm sorry, I gave you one. I'm sorry.
When was the last?
As the public works department evolves into the future, we set up this job with certain,
Page 1 is the actual job duties when hired. Page 2 is all the additional duties that the employee has taken on since being hired
right.
that you have in front of you.
When was the last time this employee received a pay increase?
Every employee received a 2% increase on their anniversary as long as the budget allows.
Right.
So On her anniversary would have been May, she would have gotten 2%.
2%.
Yep.
So as we put more and more on employees like this position, because whenever we first made the job description, we didn't know all what it was going to entail. And as the mayor put GIS into the formula with us, she's also creating some programs for payroll. She's creating some other programs, work order programs that aren't finished yet that we're trying to complete. So it's all some things that she does. And if you go ahead and you read what we added on to her, it goes on and on and on. Yeah.
It's 15.53 an hour.
So that's the base pay on her job classification. What you see is the mid-range, which is
Her current is 17,718.
Right. So, and the mid-range is 2031, and the max out in that range is $25. We asking for 2% less than mid-range for her.
So you're asking for the 2031?
No, ma'am, we're asking for 2% less than 2031.
It comes to 1991. This is what we see,
Okay.
very similar to what we did with Tiffany DeVille in tax and permitting. We put her at a class 13, 2% under mid. This job description is a 13. And so he's asking us to do the same pay increase that we gave to tax and permitting.
And I will say this, without this employee, and the other girl I have, Aaliyah, Public Works wouldn't be what it is today. I mean, she set up safety meetings today. She does all that kind of stuff for us. So Stuart's here to kind of touch on what she does for him, because her job is not just working for me. We evolved it to be his administrative assistant also. Stuart?
She takes care of a lot for me. She does the mapping. She set up all that. She showed my guys how to do it. Does a lot. Makes my job a little bit easier.
Why can't I give you that 31?
Our standard is that we've been doing 2% less than when her anniversary comes around, then she'll be at mid-range when her anniversary comes around in May. So we kind of want to keep that standard going to treat everybody the same, you know. So that's what I present before you today.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second, I believe, correct? Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay. Item number 3 is actually, we just need a motion to table. Kathy published the agenda, and then afterwards Bart called and said we weren't going to be taking this item under consideration.
That we table.
Motion and a second to table item number 3 in the personnel. Bart, you want to say anything?
Just asking to be tabled based on conversations I've had with Miss, he as an attorney. So
Okay.
we're looking to try and resolve it.
Okay, so for right now, there's a motion and a second to table. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion tabled. Presentations, item number 1, Stephanie Anderson with Community Wellness to present a donation for the Hope for Home initiative. Stephanie, you have the floor.
I'm Stephanie.
I was here not long ago, like maybe 3 or 4 months ago, begging for you guys to sign up a volleyball team. So I'm very grateful that, you know, we have maybe some youth that have participated. I'm really grateful for that. We were able to raise $4,150. $2,500 has been donated to the Christian Service Center, and then we have this check for the Hope to Home initiative for $1,650.
Thank you.
And yes, and a picture also.
Council, I don't know if you want to get up and take a picture.
Yeah, I got it.
You want to say next to us? I'm gonna hide the signature and all this, so that doesn't show. I'm gonna get copy. You know that. I'm hiding they have the routing number.
Right. Everybody look, 1, 2. that, so she is too.
Thank you so much. I do have a quick report for y'all of the way that money has been spent since we created
Thank
the
you.
account. So thus far, on 11/6/2025, we created the Hope for Home initiative, in 2025 to be able to utilize, we allocated $5,000 to start, to be able to utilize for emergency sheltering, bus tickets for people who may be homeless in our community but have a home to go back to but can't get there, different things. And so we've only used the account twice since we created it. On 11/6/2025, we wrote a check for $3,500 to the Christian Service Center because they were low on protein for the food pantry. So that allowed them, we worked with I believe we worked with Champagnes, who gave them a lot of protein at cost, and we paid for the cost of the food. So that was something that this fund helped. And also on March 19th, 2026, we paid $921.03 to cover the additional increase in utility costs for Pastor B.K. Stevens Church when he opened the warming center during the freeze. So thank you for contributing to the fund. We greatly appreciate it. I have a lot of plans for tournament. I love being in the Dunkin' booth. I'm giving the check to Kathy so nobody can say I took it when I'm there. Thank you,
Yeah,
Stephanie.
thank you for the update, and I think within the 30 minutes you were in the Dunkin' booth, I think we made over $300. They were really anxious to dump her. Towards the end, you getting back up on that seat was a little bit slower.
That was the most exercise I've done here.
Thank you, Mama.
Thank you, Stephanie. Appreciate you. All right, number 2, proclamation and appreciation for Miss Gladys Colton Briggs, Councilman Carlton Campbell. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. How much time do I
7 minutes.
have? Well, for years, on Martin Luther King Day, we meet at the Greater Pleasant Green Baptist Church, and we walk from the Greater Pleasant Green Baptist Church to the corner of Green and I.J. Jordan. Well, that was an old stump there, and when we have guest speakers, we didn't have a podium or anything, so we helped the guest speaker climb on the stump to say what he had to say or say what she had to say. Well, the stump is kind of like me now. It's kind of old and dilapidated. So I asked Miss Gladys Briggs one day, I said, Miss Gladys, would you mind if we did a memorial for Dr. King on that little corner of your property? Because at one time we had Herod Elementary, we'd go and have a function there. One time we had McKinley Scott Recreation Center. That's all gone now. So we wanted to do something permanent to recognize the stump speech on Martin Luther King Day. So Ms. Gladys Coleman Briggs was kind enough to let us have that little corner. And it's there, and it's probably going to be permanent. I don't know if Marble does do like a tree stump, but it's going to be there for years. So I'd like to ask the mayor to read this proclamation. Ms. Gladys Briggs is in the audience, and if you will come up.
Come on up, Miss Gladys.
And I would like to say that there's some donors who made this possible because that wasn't cheap. And they want to remain anonymous. But I'll tell who it is later on in life.
So this is a proclamation in recognition of Gladys Coleman Briggs. Whereas Councilman at Large Carlton Campbell explained that an actual stump at the corners of Green Street and I.J. Joyner was utilized to give speeches and sermons when no podium or physical building was available. He further stated that the stump sermons in Abbeville started in the late 1900s to present. And whereas the land that the stump is on belongs to Miss Gladys Coleman Briggs, and whereas Miss Briggs, without hesitation, freely authorized a portion of her land where the stump now remains, and whereas the community would like to express their deepest appreciation and thanks to Gladys Coleman Briggs Now therefore be it resolved that this land shall stand in a living testament to Gladys Coleman Briggs' generosity. Be it further resolved that I, Rosalind White, Mayor of the City of Abbeville, recognize Ms. Briggs for her beloved benevolence, community spirit, and allowing a part of history to continue for future generations. Thank you so much.
It's right here. Do you want do one with all the council as well? Come join us.
And we have two special guests in the audience too that would like
Would
to
y'all like to join us?
join us in the picture.
Oh, the not so silent donors. Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you so much. All right. All right, presentation number 3, members of the Mayor's Youth Council to speak about the program. Did anybody show up to speak about it?
So I'll start. I'm Christian.
Oh, yeah.
I do have members here. I just wanted to start and introduce them real fast. First, this is the full year we've completed. It's been a great program. I'm going to let Bryson talk. He actually prepared something to say. Bryson was our chair. Elena here was our vice chair, our co-chair, excuse me. And then Carson was part of it. And then Trinity, who is also interning with us this summer. So they're here today. But the program is just more, they're getting so much from it. And so this year I did a feedback with them. Like I sent a survey out and it was completely anonymous. I have no idea who said what. And I just want to read a few of their quotes first before he talks. Like one of them says, "This program has opened my eyes to the big responsibilities of local government. It made me realize we don't give enough credit to the people that are working. What stood out most to me was how much goes into making Abbeville a better place for everyone to live and enjoy." And then another one says, "It built up my confidence and made me want to do things I would usually be too scared to do." And then another, "I was able to learn so much more about my local government and it helped me want to get involved." And then I asked them, would they give anybody advice? And someone says, "Just join it because you won't regret it." And I just thought like those were just some of them. There's so many more and I would love to share them with y'all if y'all like to see some of them. But I'm going to just let Bryson talk for a second too.
Sheriff Cartwright, you have the floor.
First, I would like to say is good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My name is Bryson Cartwright, and I am a recent high school graduate who participated in AMYC during my senior year. Throughout my time on the Mayor Youth Council, I learned about our community traditions, goals, and the importance of every person who helps make our city a great place to live. Ms. Rosalind White and her team were incredibly supportive, not only in serving our community, but also in helping students throughout the year. One of my favorite memories was the Christmas stroll. It was a great event. And it also was where I broke my belt. Thankfully, one of the city workers helped me find a new one. So my advice for future members is simple. Make sure you have a working belt. I truly enjoyed every moment of this experience and the people I met along the way. I plan to continue serving my community and help creating the environment where future generations can thrive. A community that comes together to celebrate its cultures, traditions, and holidays. Once again, thank you, Ms. Rosalind White, Ms. Christian, the City Council, and our police officers. and all of the city workers for everything that you do. Thank you.
So the other ones are a little nervous, and we really wanted to present.
Carson's like, I'm not nervous.
He doesn't want to, he's not, but he's telling me no. So, we really just felt it was important to speak though, because the kids are really looking forward to the program. They've enjoyed it. Two of these have been in it for the last both years, and it has grown. So this year, if you didn't know, they got to go to the water facility. We went to the wastewater. They got to see those hands-on parts. I remember, I think it was Bryson. He actually said when we were at wastewater, he couldn't believe that whole thing was ran by so few of people, because that it runs the whole city. Like, it's just amazing for them to see that. We got to speak with, State Representative Troy Abbeville spoke with him, and he talked about how legislative sessions work. We was with VPSO. So they've really got to move around and see a lot of the community and just see how everything connects to everything and how we're all working members, and they volunteered their efforts. So we're really just hoping that the program can continue and the future of it just keeps going for them, because they really enjoy it.
And I did meet with Mayor-elect Levy, I think it was last week, and we had a discussion about the youth council, and it is her intention to continue having the youth council. And so I hope that she'll let Christian continue to lead it. Christian's done a great job with the programming and the communication, which I can say that is impossible as the mayor to keep up with the communication that is needed to make it happen. So I have it on good accord that it's her intention to keep it going. So that's a good thing for our community, I believe. So thank you all for stepping up to the plate and for learning. I learned from y'all just as much as you learned from us. And so it's been a pleasure having all of you. And I look forward to seeing what you do with your futures. Okay. That's it for that one. Thank you. Item number 4, report on the status of grants awarded and grants in progress. This is going to be a long one. Do we have a slide on it, Christian, or?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm just going to run down the grants that are still open. We met with, I met with Christy Bumgarner of Menville and Associates. And I don't know if y'all recall this, but probably about a year ago, we took action to make them ongoing, our grant administrator, to help with all these grants we were getting in. And so we met with the team, mostly the electrical and Chris Gotro, on the grants that we have been awarded that have outstanding balances, and put together a list. And Christy is going to try to help the city stay on track with these grants when I step down and the new mayor takes over at the end of the month. And so we just wanted to go through it, make sure everybody's aware where we are in these grants, and leave it in public record what's going on. So I'm going to go through them as fast as possible, but stop me if you have questions. The first grant, the first line item is we have $1 million from the state in capital outlay funds. That is to go towards the Abbeville electric system. We are planning, it's actually we're waiting on some approvals to move forward with construction for hardening of the electrical system, installation of SCADA system on the electrical system. For those of you who don't know what SCADA stands for, it stands for Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition. It's basically common in industrial control systems. You can monitor what's going on in your system and actually control it remotely. So we're putting SCADA into the electrical system. It'll help Stuart and them identify outages quicker and also preserve the system when there's a problem, because he'll be able to see it remotely. Reconfigure the distribution system. That's just the first phase of it. We're building a new control building at Pete Noel. We're replacing power poles and conductors and starting to upgrade the grid system. So that's $1 million in grant money from the state, with a balance currently $955,000 to draw down, and our local match is $333,333. And on the right-hand side, just talks a little more about the status. The next line item, 2025, we were actually very fortunate, thanks to Senator Bob Hinchkins and Representative Troy Abbeville, as well as the rest of the representatives. We were awarded $250,000 and then another $300,000 in cash in Act 461. The first $250,000 is to go towards the electrical distribution system for replacing basically just kind of repeating what we said in the first line, replacing power poles, upgrades to electrical systems, installing security cameras at the substations, purchasing more electrical components, and purchasing meters. The second line item is it's actually for all utility systems. It's $300,000. And we have earmarked that for SCADA on our sewer pump stations, SCADA on the electrical substations, and SCADA at the water towers. So all three of our utility systems will be able to monitor and see what's going on within the electrical systems from remote. And in some cases, have some control over those systems from remotely. Also, we can use it to upgrade the electrical substations, start undergrounding electrical lines, and purchase transformers, meters, and water lines and fittings. The next line item is the 2024-2025 CWEP, which was dedicated to the water treatment improvements and SCADA lime water system clarifier and storage tank components. That was $50,000, but we've drawn down. We only have about $5,000 left in that, and that should be closed out before the end of the month, hopefully, if we get approval on everything. Kathy, I have the sheet for you if you need. 2024 US DOTD Federal Highway System Safe Streets for All grants. That's the Charity Street Vulnerable User Safe Study and Demonstration Grant. So this money is $160,000 awarded with $40,000 in in-kind services as a match. I'm sorry, the three above that have no match, but this one has a $40,000 in-kind match. And this is for a demonstration and study of safety enhancements that council would like to do to see what we would like to incorporate into Charity Street to make it safer for people to cross and bike across Charity Street. As you all know, we've already signed a road transfer deal with the state. So at one point in the future, once the state fixes Charity Street, it'll become a local street. And so we now have the opportunity to make it safer for the pedestrians and the students crossing Charity to get over to school and to the hospital, people getting to the hospital. So this is a demonstration only and safety study to see what would work for future construction. 2025, Louisiana Department of Energy and Natural Resources, the 4101D grant. This is for energy modernization and a resiliency plan. So this is for a plan and engineering of projects that we can go back and apply for construction dollars for upgrades that are needed in the electrical system. It is a $217,391 award. And the match, there's a little arrow in here. The match is $82,500 and Lidacor is putting up the match. So there'll be no money. I don't believe there's any city funds that are going to be output for this. This study and engineering plan is being done by Siemens Energy. And we had some kickoff calls with them already. They do this work worldwide, and they are very familiar with modern technologies and ways to upgrade electrical grids. 2025 LDNR, which stands for Louisiana Department of Energy and Natural Resources, the EECBG grant, which is the Energy Efficiency Community Block Grant. It's for street lighting upgrades. There's been a lot of chatter about that one. I think it's about 600 LED lights that we'll be installing across the city, which should complete our transition from high pressure sodium to LED. That is a $497,325 award with zero match for the city. We've already ordered all materials and we have hired the contractor for that. When the materials come in, they can start building that out.
We have locations.
Yeah, the locations are all mapped out. They were part of the application.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and the lights, any lights that were taken down, we can relocate also if needed. So that should be actually constructed. I think that needs to be finished in August or September. So that's moving pretty fast. 2020, the next page, 2025, Louisiana Department of Transportation, DOTD, safe routes to public places. This is for the 10-foot shared use path on North Lyman Street to make it safe for students to bike and walk to school. The 10-foot shared use path will start at Charity Street and go all the way up to Abbeville, which is on the north side of the football stadium. And that is a $755,000 grant with no match required from the local municipality. That all the design and engineering work is done by DOTD. So they have that in their hands. They're designing it now. And when they're ready for construction, they're working with Chris, and our electrical department will relocate utilities to make that possible. The next line item, 2025, Louisiana Department of Transportation, Transportation Alternatives Program. This is a TAP program. This is going to benefit District B. It's city sidewalk improvements. They're going to come in. Also, the state is engineering and designing to install sidewalks along Alonzo Road, Rodeo Road, and Broadmoor. So basically, you'll have sidewalks that connect all the way from the hospital down Rodeo Road all the way to Walmart. So residents that live in that area or work in that area will be able to transect by foot. And so that is a $1,108,222,000 award for the city of Abbeville with zero matching funds required. The next one, 2025, is the 2026 Transportation HUD appropriation. This is a federal appropriation for the Riverfront Revitalization and Infrastructure Enhancement Project Phase 1. This was, we submitted in 2024, we resubmitted in 2025, and Senator Kennedy awarded the funds. So it is $4,560,000 for the city. It's basically to start beginning all of the transition of the old 41, I'm gonna say it wrong, 4610 to 7620, right? The old 46. Am I saying it right?
60 to 76.
There you go. The old part of our grid to the new voltage, moving substations and upgrading the system and clearing the riverfront near the rice mill to open it up for redevelopment of the riverfront for economic growth. And so that would be $4,560,000 for the city of Abbeville, and it will require a $1,140,000 match from the city of Abbeville. And then the final one is the 2026 House Bill 312, which is for the Abbeville fire trucks. $220,000 that Troy Abear has appropriated in supplemental cash. We have it on good authority that we expect the governor to sign it. And so once he signs it, that will be cash that will allow the fire trucks to buy two trucks for minimum output from the city. That cash appropriation doesn't require a match, but we will have to put up local money for the trucks. So in total, we're leaving $9,117,938.76 in grants awarded that are open, that will need to be completed in the next 4 to 5 years. Total city match is $1,595,833. That's not counting the water plant project that we have going on that's right around $10 million, 100% funded from outside funds, and over $3 million that we have in dedicated road funds that we got as part of the road transfer deal. So I say all this so that we have on record what I'm leaving behind when I walk out the door. I wish this council and the new mayor best of luck with the team. The team is well versed in these projects. I think we're leaving it in a good place to be able to continue to move the city forward. There's plenty of work to be done in the next 4 years. And I think we're leaving the city in really good financial shape also with a good cash balance, and rebuilt reserves. So thank you to everybody that helped make that possible. Thank you to this council for supporting our ongoing efforts to bring in outside funds. Special thank you to Senator Bob Hinchkins, Representative Troy Abear, Representative Ryan Bouillot, Representative Jacob Abear, and Senator Kennedy in DC for giving us the money. And special help of Acadiana Planning Commission, Cutchins and Grow, Sellers and Associates, Menville and Associates, Center for Planning Excellence, Lidacor, Delta Regional Authority, and Louisiana Department of Energy and Natural Resources, because to bring home the money is all about relationships, and you need to make relationships with these organizations and these people to keep the funding coming in to Abbeville. So I know that was incredibly long, but does anybody have any questions or concerns? Hearing none, we'll move on. Minutes and approval of bills. Item number 1, to ratify bills paid in the month of May 2026. Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 2, to approve the minutes from the May 19th, 2026 regular city council meeting. I have a motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. New business. Item number 1, Lynn Garrett to discuss concerns and request clarification regarding the noise ordinance pertaining to events held at the Red Barn. Ms. Miss, is it a miss or a mister? I'm not sure. Garrett. Oh. Shoot. I just know there's my walking buddy. Yeah.
Good evening, ladies
Can
and
you hear
gentlemen.
her?
My name is Lynn Garrett, and I live in New Haven Apartments and asking for clarifications of the noise ordinance 13.23.1. First and foremost, I am not here to have any trail rides or any other events shut down or closed at the Red Barn. This is strictly concerning the noise levels at events held at the Red Barn that exceed 70 decibels as stated in ordinance 13.23.1 C1. Unreasonable noise measure in excess of 50 decibels between the hours of 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. or in excess of 70 decibels at all other hours. Any noise plainly audible at a distance of 300 feet or in the case of loud amplification devices or similar equipment, noise plainly audible at a distance of 100 feet from its source by a person of normal hearing. I've spoken with many of my neighbors in the complex, and all have stated that they disapprove of the excess noise also, but have been told there's nothing that can be done. They have given up hope. I have had concerns about this since I moved into the apartments in June 2024 and have brought my concerns to several people in Abbeville government, hoping to get some results. I have discussed this matter with you, Mayor White, Councilman Francis Poisson, and Chief Michael Hardy on all of y'all on several occasions, and was advised to call and report when the events actually are happening. The last event, Sunday, June 7, 2026. There was an event at the Red Barn. Everything was fine until 5 p.m. The music was raised to a level that was very annoying. The windows of my apartment started rattling due to the noise level. I sent a text message to Chief Michael Hardy stating my concerns. I did not hear from him and then placed a call to him at 6:24 p.m. to discuss my concerns. I measured the decibels level at 5:19 p.m. It was 86 decibels on an app on my phone. I did not hear from him and then placed a call to him at 6:24 p.m. to discuss my concerns. He stated that he did receive my text earlier and drove by the event and did not feel the noise was too loud. He also stated that he asked the officers there and they stated that it was the same all day. I asked him again to come by and see the meter for himself to see or help me understand. The registering was above acceptance levels and he declined. There's also a discomfort threshold for cats and dogs. Sounds exceeding 60 decibels. My cat and dog both go into hiding or sit in my lap, trembling because of the noise. So I'm here to see if we can all come to an agreement of what is acceptable noise and what exceeds the decibel ratings. Thank you for your time. I also have a copy of the printout from my son.
Thank you. So I want to say this to Chief Hardy, I hope you don't mind. The marshal's office often is the agency working those events. So the marshal is here. Miss Garrett, I suggest y'all exchange phone numbers too, right? So that you, because he's normally here, his team is usually working those events. So it might be helpful for her to let him know when there's a problem and he can see what he can do to help address it.
Also, okay. I just want some help to find out, get clarification for myself and for my neighbors.
This noise you're talking about is mostly music?
Yes, sir. It's the noise level of the music. It's not anything else. It's just the music that it is vibrating. It's so loud that inside my apartment, and I'm over 300 yards away. I'm in the apartment complex. I'm not right on the street. So if it's that loud, 300 yards away, it's even louder closer. And you know, I do love music. I enjoy music, but when it's too loud and too extensive, then there's a problem, especially when it's in the confines of my apartment where I'm trying to rest or study or watch something.
Ma'am, you're not the only one that's complaining in the apartment complex.
I know you and I have discussed it many times.
Also, people that complain in the trailer park too. So
Yes.
it's an issue that, I'm gonna talk about a little bit more in the next item, but it's an issue that I think that the city or the chief is here, and the chief needs to deal with. How can you deal with that, chief?
First of all, they have to complain to the police department. I mean, Ms. Garrett did call, she called me and I was just getting back in town. I said, well, since I'm here, I'll go by. It was not that loud, not that afternoon when I showed up. Now, they did close down at 8 o'clock. It's a bunch of people having a good time. They rented the barn and there were numerous police officers there and marshals there. So they were having a peaceful little concert.
And I'm sure they were, and I accept that, but the noise was loud. When the windows inside my apartment crack, that's a problem, it's too loud.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm not
Marsha.
a trail ride advocate, but they only have a rock 4 times a year. Every 90 days, April, June, September, which that one was canceled, and one in November. They're within their means of the ordinance of the time. Nothing ever goes beyond past 8 o'clock, ever. It never has. In 15 years I've been doing it. I understand her frustration. It may be annoying, but they have graduation parties there. They have cook-offs there. They have all kind of other parties there with music. And it's like, why is it annoying only at the trail ride?
It was not the only trail ride. There were other times, other events that the noise was loud and I reported that nothing was done. I'm not just saying the trail ride. There are other events there. Yes, I agree. But when it's loud enough that everything is vibrating inside my head. I'm just saying that the decibels level, and that's in the ordinance.
Yeah.
So what is can we?
We all have one on hand with y'all whenever y'all had an event.
And I guess one of my questions would be is how accurate is the decibel reading on the phone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, don't y'all have some fake meeting?
They do have a decimal meter.
I'm just.
I've asked and it's never showed up.
So listen, I support special events. You know, I've gotten calls from people downtown when the cattle festival's going on. People yelling at my phone saying, if I can't sleep, you're not gonna sleep either. I was at the festival though, so don't, you know, but anyway. But no, but listen, this is a reasonable suggestion. I don't know if it's gonna solve the problem, right? If you have extra decibel readers, if they can have one on site, if they get complaints from the neighbors, if it needs to be turned down a little, it needs to turn down a little, right? It's not gonna be turned off. You're gonna have to accept that sometimes there's gonna be parties there that actually is just the nature of the situation. I have every faith in the world that if it's truly disruptive, that these gentlemen are gonna take care of it, right? And I think that there's a very diplomatic way to handle this situation. Because every time we have an event, we make locals upset, you know, and it's not just trail rides, it's the cattle festival downtown, it's omelet festival, it's, you know,
everything.
You know, it's always, every event we host and everything we do has its pros and cons, right? I think a reasonable way to try to mitigate the issue is to have direct contact with the marshal's office who normally works those events. And otherwise, the chief could tell you there's always going to be private security for every event there, I believe, right? Either y'all or them. And I think decibel meters, if there's a complaint, it needs to be read with something that we think is reasonably accurate. I think not extending the time past whatever the quiet times are in the ordinance might help. I think there's some reasonable concessions both sides can make to still allow these wonderful, events to happen and hopefully the local community can also accept that sometimes it might be a little more inconvenient. Listen, I get mad multiple times a day. I live right here on the one way out of town and people drive their cars with loud music so loud it rattles my windows. I wish I had a badge because I'd get my ticket, right? But it's impossible to police, but in this situation, it's a stagnant, it's an event center, so that's my suggestion. I'm not law enforcement.
Well, they have a permit to.
They have a permit.
And I agree, that's
Yeah.
fine, but my concern is the decibel level.
Yeah.
Mayor, I'm an advocate of trail rides too, and it's usually packed in that red barn.
Yeah.
Now, the young kids, I'm not making excuses that go to trail rides. If the music ain't loud, they ain't coming to town and spend no money. They're gonna leave it, go back to Cecilia and so gotta be a compromise. Now,
Sometimes it's the cars that are putting out the music more than
on the red barn.
The Red Barn is owned by the Cattle Festival Association.
And Ms. Garrett complained to the Cattle Festival Association people.
I was not directed to that, but if that, I'm just trying to get clarification of where can I go to get the best result for all of us.
I think as long as they bring a meter down there when they work.
We'll bring a meter and the complaint she's making is 85 decibels is what you have to exceed, and that's very loud. I mean, you're talking about football loud, football stadium loud. It's not that loud.
Let me say this to you. Normally, they play, they have a DJ from 1 o'clock in the evening, and the band don't come till 4 o'clock. So it's only from 4 to about 7:45 that they're actually playing music. We pride ourselves on safety. That's our number one concern. We've had no shootings, no gun issues.
That's not
It's on wood, like these other places that have gas, and they're completely shut theirs down. The Red Barn is the last resort for everyone that's in the Trail Ride Association. And we make sure we pride ourselves on safety at all times. And we have enough officers to cover ground and to make sure everybody's safe. And we do tell them to go, hey, turn the music down. The thing is, it's in an open space. And they bring 2 bass speakers. Now, sometimes it is rattling. I mean, it's a concern for us too. But they know if something goes wrong, music is off. And we tell them to turn it down. We try, what I'm saying? And I sympathize with that. It's just.
I wonder if where the DJ sets up and where his speakers face can make a difference.
Way to the back.
I know, they face the door, so they're projecting towards the neighborhood. I wonder if, I know it wouldn't be the ideal situation, but if they could potentially try setting the DJ up facing towards Walmart or facing to where the projection of the noise goes forward that way as opposed to the residential area south of it, because most of your complaints are coming from. It would be worth a try to see if it makes a difference where they could still play the music. It's not projected. It's projected to the commercial area as opposed to the residential area.
It's a thought.
I guess the only issue that they don't have a stage. Stage is not movable. I mean,
You don't need a stage for a DJ.
oh no, but that's for the band though.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm just thinking. Yeah, I'm sorry, I have some public comments.
Mr. Francis, wasn't you out there the weekend? What you think about the noise?
Well, I don't have a problem with the noise.
Oh, okay.
Because.
All right.
You didn't let me finish.
Finish, Councilman.
Well, hey, I'm Raven St. Julian. I just wanted to say that, thank you for coming and thank you for speaking up, because the topic is not trail rides. Topic is not trail rides.
Right.
So I don't even know why we're discussing trail rides.
Right.
The topic is the noise ordinance.
Yeah.
She wants to know what is the ordinance. So let's stay on topic.
Yeah, she read the ordinance.
As you read the ordinance,
Yeah.
and it answers the decimal, does it answer the question of the points of the decimal?
Right.
Okay, so we know what it is, right?
Okay.
And you have your machine
Mhm.
that you bring out there. You all have your machine, and I'm quite sure you will have your machine. So the problem is if they're going over the noise, we tell them, you all will tell them to lower it. If they don't, then there will be citations, a ticket, or something of that nature. So it's already in place. I don't think it's a big issue, like you said.
Yeah.
It's just communications, and let's just stay on the topic. Let's not make it seem like it's a trail ride issue, because it's really not.
It's not, it's just.
Yep.
it's not-
Okay, the city attorney has asked to speak, so I'm gonna let the city
So I
attorney.
might be able to clarify for a little bit. I mean, she read the ordinance and she seems to understand that, but and our ordinance, as I understand it, mirrors the state law, which at some point, somebody came together through studies and said, this is the decimal level that we should establish it at. Because while you have the right to enjoy your space peacefully, somebody that likes loud music has the right to enjoy loud music in their space. So what's the trade-off and what's the decimal level where that could be accomplished for each? I guess the legislature and then our council at some point adopted those levels. So, and I agree with what the chief said, because I'm going through this myself at my own home.
Let's just think of it.
And it's not as loud as you think it is from a standpoint of what's allowed. So, you know, if my suggestion would be to probably approach your legislature or your councilman and try to get it reduced. Other than that, there's not much they can do. All the chief can do is go out and measure and determine if it's above, hey, you guys need to lower it. If it's not, even if it's super annoying to you, there's nothing he can do.
The important thing is that the ordinance is already there.
The ordinance is there.
And if you begin adjusting the ordinance, you're gonna affect other events that also have music.
Which
within the city.
again,
So-
our ordinance mirrors state law, which I'm sure somebody, before, they didn't just say, let's make it 85. I'm sure studies were done to determine this is a appropriate decibel level of enjoyment of, you know, parties, music, whatever. So, and again, I'm not picking, I'm serious, I'll be happy to talk to you after the meeting about it. The what's allowed is probably considerably more than what you think, the 85. I mean, I don't know what, if the phone, how accurate it is, but, you know, I had a noise complaint at my house one time, and the sheriff's department came out, and can you measure? And he went out and measured, and it was like 40. And this guy was complaining real loud about it. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't even halfway. So I'm just saying, I think 85 is considerably loud, you know? And if you don't like that, then the only way to change that is change the law. Change the law.
I do suggest y'all get one. I'll even buy y'all one, but to make sure you have an accurate one to have on it.
We do have one, they can keep it,
So
you
y'all
know,
can actually
for anybody.
test it if there's a complaint.
Front desk.
Yeah, no, yeah, but I mean.
Yeah, look, if it's above our ordinance, they should, you should.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what I'm asking for.
yeah.
But if it's below.
I'm just asking for.
No, I just want to ask one more question. I'm just, no, I'm not.
But this is not, I'm gonna say it again, this is not supposed to be Q and A. it's
Okay,
supposed to be public
I just
comment,
wanna-
but Go ahead, go ahead.
No,
Go ahead, go ahead.
Because, I mean, all the people that's out there at the Red Barn and you hear the music, you know, I mean, the music is kind of far off. That's what I'm not understanding. How,
And Raven, Miss St. Julian's right, it's not, her complaint is about all events, right? She talked about the most recent trail ride, and I think that's how we all got on
Exactly.
the trail ride, but the agenda item is for noise ordinances pertaining to events at the Red Barn.
and then Mr. Faison said he'll talk about the Red Barn. Okay,
So I do think for, and I will suggest this, and I'm gonna suggest for someone else to do it because I won't be here, but someone should reach out to the Capital Festival Association, and there might be a member in them, and just make sure, oh, there's Miss Karen, I didn't even see you back there. I think you should put the reference the ordinance on your agreement. Okay, good, okay, perfect. Okay, anything else before we close the item? Okay, thank you, Ms. Karen. All right. Item number 2, to approve a special event permit for the 5-Star Southern Players Annual Trial Ride to be held on August 8th, 2026 through August 9th, 2026 from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Red Barn. The special event permit is needed for a trail ride to access the city street. Someone here from that event? Motion and a second. Can you please stand for me? If you can't, if it's not too inconvenient, can you come right here or can you get out of the pew? It's not, we don't, we really need to reconfigure this room at some point. This feel like this before streaming was a thing. I guess now you're aware of our noise ordinance and I've asked you to respect it. Okay, you've met with our police departments and y'all work in security, correct?
Yes.
And security plan is good, chief?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so do I have a motion in a second? I'm not sure. I have a motion in a second. Any questions or comments?
I have to say something. You guys, are they gonna speak first?
They can.
Okay, go ahead. You wanna talk about your ride?
Yeah, I could say a few things about the about the trail rides. Just want to let you guys know basically, my husband and I have been trail riding for decades. We've been coming here. We used to actually give our rides here before, and it was always, nonviolence. Trail rides are more than a recreational event. They support local businesses. I heard you make several comments about the need of money here in Abbeville. It brings revenue to the city of Abbeville. Also, and be mindful, I wasn't prepared to speak. And by the way, my name is Barbara Broussard, and I'm the secretary of 5-Star Southern Players. We were founded in 1999. It provides positive activities for the youth. Every time you look around, you see the youth in their phone or in an iPad. It teaches them, and our grandson, he rides sheep. He's 5 years old. He want to be moved to bulls, but he's riding sheep and horses now. But what we do, we put a time frame on nobody having the phones at a certain time when we're at the ride. They also learn how to cook outside, how to experience the environment, how to live in the heat, because we're so comfortable and spoiled with living in AC or in the cold, because one of the rides that we did come to in April, we had a storm and we didn't bring our camper. We bought tents at the Red Barn, and it stormed that whole weekend. And that morning it was like 40 degrees and the wind was just blowing. And my grandkids stuck it out with their parents and us. So it is teaching them different ways than the phone and everything else. I think it's awesome that they mention about the safety in Abbeville, the security that they provide for here. And we're not from Abbeville. Some of our members are. Our president is from the Vermilion area. We're not from Abbeville, but we feel safe when we come to the Red Barn. Unfortunately, I'm not going to bring up the area that they did mention, that we were in the crossfire. Literally, it went through our camper.
You're from Bow Bridge, right?
Yes, yes.
Bruce, without revealing any of your trade secrets, who's gonna be the band that may be playing on August 5th, if you can say that?
That is up for discussion, because we wanted to confirm the date and the time, because if we put a deposit, and like I said, this is our first one in a few years, so we don't have a big budget. So depending on yay or nay, what goes on today, we have several different options that we're choosing from. The president is kind of leaning towards Lil Nate. I'm kind of leaning towards somebody in a lower bracket because of the finances.
Yeah, but regardless, I mean, could you possibly speak to them about the level of music, the velocity?
Definitely I can, but I'm gonna be very honest with you guys. I don't know nothing about a meter of sound or anything. So I don't. I don't even know how to pull it up on my phone. But
Well, if it's Steve Frank, you're gonna get a ton of reports.
But you gotta understand too that I like music. I don't know what music carries. no matter what you do. You could turn it towards the trees. It's still gonna carry because it's outdoors. It may carry so far to where it may hit Walmart and do. You'll hear that. You can't stop it out in the open. You know what I'm saying? It's just because it carries.
And it is measured from the point of the complaint.
Yeah. So, just so y'all, I heard some questions. They are from Bro Bridge. And sir, can you state your name for the record? I don't know if we got it.
Eugene Broussard Jr.
Eugene Broussard Jr. And, the event says dance on Saturday and trail ride, dance on Sunday. Trail ride and dance on Sunday. August 8th begins at 12 noon. It says end date August 9th, 8 p.m. Okay. And, estimated total attending 200. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Additional questions?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Okay, the trail rides are in my district, okay? And I've been getting a lot of complaints about the trail rides recently. And here's what the complaint is. I'm gonna ask you how you're gonna handle that. The horses are going into people's property, on people's property. They're throwing beer cans, they're throwing beer bottles. They're riding all over into people's property, even after it's rained. And people are very upset about that. I got calls from outside the city too. The sheriff doesn't escort it because of the drinking. So I just would like to ask you how you're gonna control that. I know we have one trail ride, it's a major one. And I know they have several flag people. Okay, you probably have those too. That's what I'm asking you. Those flag people have been very successful in controlling the ride. Okay, and so that's what I'd be really concerned about. I'd like to really meet with all the leaders of all the trail rides in the very near future and ask them what they can do to correct that problem. It is a bad problem. And in this last time, there were four-wheelers in the property across the street. They denied it, but I had video of that. So the owner came from Lafayette to see about his property. So it'd be very important to control the ride to where it doesn't interfere with people's property. That's my only concern.
So I can address the four-wheelers, for safety purposes for our rides, we don't allow ATVs. So, for safety purposes. Also, we do, we're part of the Rainbow Association. So being that we're part of that association, you automatically have people that do the flags during the ride. As far as for us being able to control any adult outside of what we do, we can't control that. So I can't guarantee you, sir, that somebody won't throw a can in somebody's yard. That's out of our control. We can only.
But this last one, I went out in the country to one of the properties, okay? Counted 105 horses that went by, and they were well controlled. There were people that were monitoring along the way. You could see it happening.
And they're part of the association as well.
So we continue to have the trail rides. I'd like to get together with the Cow Pheasant Association, see that when they allow these trail rides, there's some stipulations that put in place to control.
You know, I like to tell I don't like to make promises that I
You
can't
keep it
keep.
down in the back.
But what I can tell you, I can only control the controllables. I can't control any other adults from throwing things or whatever, but what we can control is what we can control. That's it.
And you know, not to interrupt, I'm sorry, but basically, you're correct when you say that you can't control it, because if, throughout the city of Abbeville, I will go on Martin Luther King, Mart Avenue, South Gaillon, and I know that my city employees were there. I get off at 3:30, and on some of those streets, it looked like they weren't even there. From the letter, it's hard to control that. It's hard. And I take the blame for it. Look at Terrace District, but if I could control letter, I would.
Right.
Then they complain about the city employees, but they're faithfully doing their job. We just have a huge letter problem.
No, let me say this. It is the organizer of the event, and it is the people that drive their cars and live on the street. It's their job to control litter. And we've handed over citation after citation after citation with evidence of people littering out their cars in your district, in your district, in your district. I've yet to see one go through the full process and be cited and penalized, but we have plenty of evidence of who's doing it and how. And until we start enforcing it, and until we start holding the people who's actually littering accountable and charging them and hitting them in the pocketbook where we should, or removing their fishing and hunting license, which is something you can do, until there's consequences to actions, people will continue to break the law. As an organizer of an event, it is their job to make sure that their event is picked up after. It is not the city worker's job to pick up litter on your street. I don't care if you're a resident here or if you're a visitor here. The city workers are not here for litter abatement. Their job is to maintain our public infrastructure. We have gotten in the habit of doing it because nobody wants to see litter. But if the people who were throwing it out their cars, or worse, getting out their cars and throwing it on the floor on camera, were penalized and given tickets, they quit doing it, and our people wouldn't be abused trying to pick up litter on the side of the road. So to go back to Miss Raven St. Julian's comment in the back, she said it's not their job to control their crowd. It's not their job. It is your job as an event organizer to make sure your event stays within the boundaries of the law. I have already met with the marshal's office and said, if you have a trail ride who has attendants that break the law and cause problems, then you need to tell whoever's sitting in this office and tell this body, and we need to not issue citations for that particular event, trail ride or not a trail ride. I don't care what it is. If it's the Cattle Omelet Festival. If they're leaving litter and they're not leaving our community better than they found it, then we shouldn't welcome them back here. And those that do so respectfully and have an event within the bounds of the law and are putting on a good community event, then we should uphold those events, right? That's how you fix the problem. But it's not the city worker's job to pick up trash and then watch a resident come throw it out their car because they don't want to walk to the trash can at their house and put the trash in there. And that's what's happening. I can show you video after video. Chief has seen it. We've all been sent his department.
Now, since we're talking about trail rides.
That's all right. Okay, we're gonna allow two more comments.
All right.
We're gonna move on.
Now, since we're talking about trail rides, Francis, when you was over the Red Barn, what did you do when they had the trail rides?
Question and answer.
Okay.
I'm just trying to know.
Noted. Comment noted.
It's one trail ride, the largest one that we have. It's just hundreds and hundreds of people that know what I'm talking about. And the Monday, I mean, there's trash everywhere you can imagine. There's Walmart property and everything. Well, I can tell you something. By Monday evening, you don't see a piece anywhere. And the trail ride organizes the cleanup. So you might keep that in mind. And don't let the horses go into Walmart either.
We got to compromise because we don't want the trail rides to end.
That's right. That's exactly. And I'm sorry that y'all getting beat up.
Exactly. And that's, I just wanted to say, welcome to Abbeville. Welcome to Abbeville. Everything is a big discussion. But I just wanted to say that I live across the Red Barn. I live right across that area, and I just want to say that I'm a trail rider, and we don't have them that often, and there's no violence, and I really appreciate it. And the majority of the time, the trash is already there before they get there. Because I live on Rodeo Road, the trash is already there before they get there. But whenever they leave on Rodeo and Airport, they clean up their trash. You know, so hey, once again, and you quoted me somewhat right, we're not here to talk about the trail ride. If people want to permit, let's make it happen. Thank you.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second? No. Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve the permit. You are aware that you're required to have insurance once we approve this. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. Somebody call for questions so we can close out questions. Somebody say question call. All right, never mind. I'm not. We're gonna move on to a roll call vote as Councilman Plaisance just requested. Councilman Campbell.
Yes, let's continue to have trail rides.
Yes. Councilman Broussard.
Yes.
Councilman Plaisance.
Yes.
Councilman Hardy.
Yes.
It's unanimous. Congratulations. All right, item number 3. To adopt a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a contract for the occupancy by and between the city of Abbeville and the remaining council on aging. Motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
The council has nothing to say about it, right?
This was, we really just signed the exact same agreement we signed less than a year ago. We're just changing the term from 1 year to 10.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 4, update on the mutual aid assistance for City of Kaplan. I don't really need a motion in a second. This is just so that y'all are aware. We have a mutual aid agreement. We put one in place with all the parish agencies, including the school board, police, jury, and all the cities. But we also have one under LIPA. To provide mutual response to surrounding municipalities, electrical response. And Chris or Stuart, can you cover? I think the city of Kaplan's superintendent has retired. They haven't been able to replace him.
Yeah, Stuart probably will more about those details.
And they're down to 2 workers and they're looking for the apartment.
So since May, when they have an emergency or when they have an issue, they're calling. When our guys can, we go. And we are tracking those expenses. We are going to invoice the city of Kaplan for the month of May. It was a cost of $3,486 for personnel and equipment. And this will be ongoing until either Stuart says we can't do it anymore or they can find a replacement. But I want to make this body aware that on a somewhat regular basis, I don't know how many times we've responded. In May, I can say on 5/6, 5/10, 5/11, 5/13, 5/22, and 5/27, our crews were called out. So me and the mayor of Kaplan, Mr. Mike, have had in-depth conversations. He wants us to bill him. We will bill him. And at any point, if there's a problem or if there's conflict or we need to make a change to that, we will come back and let y'all know as an update. But I just want everybody to be aware that the city team is responding on a more regular basis to Kaplan right now. And other minute, Rain has offered to help. ERAB has offered to help, but of course, we're the bigger municipality closer and have the team, so we are.
We also have the best team to do that kind of work. And you talked about sitting, the lady that works in Kaplan, she was by herself, but they just recently moved somebody else from maybe the water department or street department into that electrical department. And as we all know, that's a dangerous job. So she wants to learn. And they talked about maybe sending her with us for a week at a time so that she could get some experience with us in the bucket, but that is yet to happen. That's on them to do it. But we do charge them for equipment. We do charge them for whether it's regular time or overtime. We do charge them if we use some house supplies. We do charge them. So they're paying us back. And they know that whenever we have a call here, the city of Abbeville comes first. If the calls are at the same time, they have to wait it out. But so far so good. It's all worked out. It gets kind of tiresome for the guys, but they've all bought into it. So,
and we've been helping them for years, just more often now.
Stuart, and I know I told the team thank you, but thank you to you and the whole team for stepping up and helping out our sister municipality. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and we help you wrap,
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right, so no action needed. That was just to make sure everybody's aware. Item number 5, to ratify the mayor's execution of the contract with UMR and Ulico for health insurance and stop loss insurance for from July 1, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. I have a motion and a second. Mr. Lloyd Campisi is here to cover it.
Oh, thank you, Mayor. Thank you so much. Well, our group health insurance renews on the 1st of July, and we had to make some decisions before July 1st. And we've had probably the most difficult insurance year since I've been here. In other words, the claims, particularly here, are higher than they've ever been. Um, we normally, the city spends about 2.8 million dollars, a year to provide our employees and just the employees, their group health insurance. And it's always been the mission of the council and the mayor to provide the best benefits to the employees that the city can afford. This year, our costs will increase by about $625,000 over last year. We also, this is due primarily to large claimants. We've had a significant amount of illness this past year. About 6 or 7 years ago, we had the same situation. These things come in waves, and we hope they don't come often because it blows the budget when you have a claimant whose medical expenses approaches $1 million. And we have that, and we have other claimants who have far exceeded the $75,000 that we self-insure ourselves for. We paid the reinsurer this year about $350,000 for reinsurance. Their claims cost, excluding what we paid them, they paid all of that out. Plus, before their year ends, they will have paid out over $1 million. I was happy that they renewed the case with us. But we all did what we thought was in the best interest of our employees. The mayor, the chairman of the insurance committee, myself, all diligently sought alternatives to see if there couldn't be a way in which we could save the city money. 2 outside insurance agents from Lafayette received the information to bid. We also asked Blue Cross Blue Shield to bid, and all of those bids were not available to us until the day before it was necessary for the city to accept the renewal offer. None of the bids came close. The last bid that came in on Thursday night at 11:50 p.m. And the next morning, the mayor met and made an executive decision. She executed the contract with UNLR and Ulico, our reinsurer, and we informed the council of what the situation was, and everyone was in agreement. We are all in hopes that this is an extraordinary year like we had 6 years ago, and that this doesn't continue in the future. But our healthcare costs, like all healthcare costs throughout America, is rising, and there doesn't seem to be any height at which it will not go. So, in terms of what I think is being asked of me, is to ask you to ratify the signature or the mayor's action that she took place and correctly did, as you all had become aware of the night before the deadline, the day of the deadline. And what we were waiting to get, the additional bid, was not even close to the bid we received in Ulico. So hopefully, we will have a better year in the next 12 months. But each meeting that I've met with Councilman White, And there was. Because she served on the council for 4 years and had to deal with this issue. And she dealt with it as mayor for 4 years. And each time she pointed out that the city can no longer continue to lay out the kind of money that we're paying for group health insurance without depriving some other city departments of revenue. So she was well aware of the situation. She made the best decision that she could make and agreed to that. So I'm here, I'm supposed to ask you to ratify what the decision she made. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Section.
Thank you, Lauren.
Any other questions or concerns? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion's ratified.
Ms. Lloyd, thank you for answering my concerns when we met. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Lauren.
Item number 6. Sorry, she's in my binder together. Item number 6, discussion and possible action to adopt a proclamation calling for a special election in accordance with LSA RS 18402, setting the election for November 3rd, 2026 primary and December 12th, 2026 general, with qualifying dates of August 5th, 6th, and 7th, 2026. Special election is needed to permanently fill the vacancy in District A. I have a motion and a second, council. This is due to the untimely death of Councilman-elect Neil Reshord, who was set to be sworn in and serve District A, a huge loss for our city, personal friend, and would have been an amazing council person. And this is a directive from the Secretary of State. Or would you like to cover it at all?
I mean, I think it's
Have any
nothing more than what you added. If anybody has any questions, I'll answer for you. It's not regarding the dates or anything like that, but it's sort of the same thing we did when Councilman Tuchet resigned. We had to call for special election. We've done that. In the near future, the council will be asked to fill that seat on an interim basis with someone. And then the election will be in November. And
I had a lot of questions, some from council, some from public, some from the family about what happens here. And so by all means, I have the proclamation or the thing from the Secretary of State, and it just says, that additionally, in addition to calling a special election, additionally pursuant to, and it cites the law, the governing authority shall make an appointment to fill the office within 20 days of the office actually becoming vacant. But specifically after July 1st, 2026, but before or on July 21st, 2026. So for those that, because Councilman Hardy is still sitting and serving until July 1st, the term doesn't end until July 1st. It's not vacant until July 1st. I know there's been a swearing in ceremony that's scheduled for the 30th, is that right?
Yes.
30th. It's a board's opinion that all elected council people at that point can be sworn in. However, if anyone is newly elected on June 27th, they can't actually take legal action at the table until the results are certified. This is a highly unusual situation, not just the passing of Neil. For those of you that are not aware, normally our elections are held in March. In our charter, our elections held in March. They're always held in March. The state moved the election to May 16th for the primary, and then they set the general for June 27th. That impacts us because our term starts on July 1, and it takes some time for the Secretary of State to certify election results. So highly unusual one that we're this close to the term transition, that elections being held. Also, thankfully, highly unusual that we have a situation where an elected council person passes before they're even sworn in. But that is the orders of the Secretary of State. And so we're asking and have a motion and a second to call for a special election. The law just states that the governing authority will appoint. Historically, what has happened is that the family is asked first if someone from the family wants to serve. This has happened when Wayne Tuchet passed away on at the police jury. His wife, Liz Tuchet, serves in his place. When Councilman Tuchet had to resign, a list of names were gathered of people who were interested in being appointed. I think this council yielded to Councilman Tuchet's request. Councilman Carlton Campbell, when you resigned, correct? You want to go in on what happened?
Yeah, I just,
Yeah.
studied like crazy for 2 or 3 weeks to find out who would I recommend to be appointed to take my place, and I did.
So I do, the family has said that they would like to offer a name, right? They have not offered that name yet. And I didn't think it was appropriate that we asked them to think about that. They just lost a loved one, and I think it was inappropriate for any conversations about politics to be had with that family the day that the gentleman passed and the day of his funeral. And so this body, I'm sure we'll hear from the family. They just need a little time to grieve. And then this body, it's your job. It will be the governing authority's job to appoint someone after July 1st and before July 21st. So for those of you who are wondering the process, I did not want to speak on it during the funeral because I thought it was highly inappropriate and very callous, in my opinion, to talk about who's going to replace a man who just passed away.
I was going to say that I wasn't here, but to get back home and hear that they were already looking for a replacement without giving the family their time to grieve and the respect that they required in losing their loved one. And I just said, God, thank you for not allowing anybody to come attend my sister's services to discuss politics. Thank you so much for that. But that's a disgrace. That's a disgrace.
So long story short, first action is to call for the special election. We have a motion and a second. Are there any additional questions now that we've laid all that out? No? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 7, to adopt a resolution approving the updated Vermillion Parish multi-jurisdictional hazard mitigation plan.
Second.
Motion and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, to approve contract change order number 7 relative to the water treatment plant improvement project. The change order increases the contract price by $102,157.11. Motion and a second. Todd, you want to carry that cover real quick?
Yeah, this is 6 items that the project team has recommended be included in the contract. We got prices from the contractor and the total of the 6 items, as mentioned, is $102,157.11. I will mention that the contingencies currently in the budget are only $46,000. As the mayor mentioned earlier, this project is 100% funded by grants that will expire or complete the grant funds. So there will be needed a local commitment of $56,000 for this change order.
So this is a change order for $102,157. $56,000 of that is coming from local funds, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. I don't think I understood that whenever we put it on the agenda.
It's a $10.5 million project, and that's the first local fund.
All right, so do we have a motion and a second?
You do.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments for Todd? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 8, to approve contract change order number 7 relative to the water treatment plant improvement project. The change order. Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta get to number 9. I didn't mark it off. Number 9, to approve payment of partial payment number 15, revised in the amount of $20,433.47 payable to Shaw Construction Services LLC relative to the fiscal year 2021 LCB LCDBG sewer system rehab project. Motion and a second. This is, the settlement that Bart came to with Todd's assistance, with the contractor, correct?
That's correct.
All right.
And I did receive back in writing, so you can issue the check.
Okay. So that's item number one. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments?
Is that compromised settlement?
Yes, this is for liquidated damages that we withheld,
We're gonna give him back 20 of it.
20 out of two,
240.
240.
And Todd, didn't you save hundreds of thousands on the project?
Yeah, we're under budget.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 10, to approve payment of partial payment estimate number 16, final payment in the amount of $69,179.47. It's payable to Shaw Construction LLC relative to the fiscal year 2021 LCDBG sewer system rehab project. I have a motion and a second. Any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 11, to approve payment of the invoice from Premier Wireless Communications in the amount of $9,063.50 for the barge closure notification system for the fire department. Motion and second. Chief, you want to cover anything? I know you kind of covered it last meeting, but.
This is the system between the DOTD and the fire department for our main station having a communications link with both bridges. Abbeville averages 63 bridge openings a month. This will let us know when each of those openings are occurring at each bridge.
And I'm recommending that we pay that out of sales tax. All right?
Thank you very much for that, Chief.
Thank you.
Told him, I said, we've been talking about the solution. I never realized we were paying for it, but that's okay.
Yeah,
It's
first
worth it. It's worth it.
first of its kind.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any other questions or comments?
63 closures a year?
A month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 12, discussion and possible action pertaining to a change order to the water treatment plant improvement project relative to the lime silo, auger, and expense will be paid from city sales tax fund. Don't make a motion in a second yet, because we put this on the agenda and the idea might have changed, right?
Yes,
Go ahead.
so we value engineered this project.
Which means when we bid it out at 13 million, there was 5 million in funding. We had to take some out. We went back, we got more money, but we took out $3 million worth of needs to get it value engineered down to a compromise that we could get funding.
Right, so, some of the stuff we took out, I've done the city has done on their own. Some of the stuff we took out, Todd presented, tonight. It had to go back in, so it's cost the city about $50,000. That's all we in it for right now. So we started, the lime silo was in the project originally as a repair, and the auger system as a repair. Well, the silo is real old. I talked to somebody about sandblasting it to try to get it repaired. It leaks. I fixed some leaks on it, temporary. They don't even want to touch it sandblasting it because they're afraid that they penetrate through it and then it causes a bigger problem. If you open the hatch up inside the tank, there's about a 5-foot section, and Stewart's crew opened it up and looked in there all the way down. That is hard lime from it leaking over the years. When I was made aware that it was leaking and we can only put 14,000 pounds of lime in instead of the normal 20 or 25,000, we went in there to see what was going on, and it's a leak. We added vibrators to the side of it to get it to shake it down to the bottom. So anyway, the lime tank and auger system needs to be replaced, as in brand new. So we started talking about this. The contractor called some vendors, and we really don't know how much it's going to cost, to be honest with you. Could be 500,000 to 750,000, but it needs to be done. I wouldn't be presenting it to you if it didn't need to be done. I could probably baby it along for another year, to make it work, but sooner or later we're going to get there and lime's going to be all over the ground. Just as simple as that. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. I'm just going to tell you like it is, because that's reality of it. This thing is old. We did what we could since I took over to take care of it. I'm sure the guys before me took care of it also, you know. It just has reached its expiration date. So in the process of putting it on as a change order or taking it out of the job, me and the mayor had a conversation today, and the light bulb came on for her. And she said, well, what about the revolving loan fund? Can we go back for money? So I made a call to Todd and Emily Falk, who is the engineer on the project. And Emily has recently, about 4 o'clock, got in touch with the Department of Health. And then Todd's going to speak on the rest of it about what could possibly be done to save the city some money.
So right now, this project would be 100% city funded if this creative financing doesn't come through, but it has been limping along since before I was mayor, and it's constantly breaking, and it needs to be done. So go ahead, Todd.
So we spoke to the Department of Health. They have basically 3 loan programs. The loan that you have now is part of their emerging contaminant funding, and it's 100% forgiveness. They also have a 49% forgiveness, which we hope that we could get some of those funds for this component of the project. And if not, then it would be 0 forgiveness. It would be a long-term loan at 2.45%. So it is a low interest loan, but it would be a loan rather than a grant. He felt like there's a chance he could get some of the 49% forgiveness, but he just didn't have the numbers today.
Is there a chance we can get some of the 100% together?
There's a slight chance, but he felt like it was pretty much spoken for all of that money.
But a lot of these projects don't get done and they return the money and then they go back. So keep asking.
They felt like they had more money in the 49%, right? They had more money in the 49% program. So I think we need a motion to allow us to pursue and come back to you with the final.
I do move.
And the reason is we don't want to spend all this time if we're not going to go nowhere with it. The contractor has to make a bunch of phone calls. Todd has to do some stuff on the project. So we want to make sure that we have some buy-in that we could possibly get it done. I mean, I know things happen when we come back, but we're going to try to get it done as less money out of the city's budget.
And the recommendation is still to do it as a change order under the existing, which would mean your existing contractor would do the work.
Correct.
And they would just order the parts, and if he needed to sub something out, he would sub.
Yeah, he would need to bypass the plant, and he's set up to do all of that. So I think it makes a lot of sense to do it in this contract.
Also, you know, when you buy a new silo, you got to maybe retrofit the legs of it to fit on the foundation that's there now. That would save us some money. We use the existing foundation and slab that's there now. So it's all things that they got to check into, but it takes time. But it's going to take what, Emily said?
It could be 3 to 5 months before you get a firm commitment from LDH. We're probably going to have to go back to the bond commission and get their approval for another loan. So it may be that you would need to commit the local funds in the interim on the premise that you will get the loan to back it up.
We do have ARPA funds that have been through the process that they needed to be through, which was, you know, we reimbursed ourselves the payroll expense. So we have some of those ARPA funds in a bond sitting in the bank that potentially could be put up for, to say that we have the funding, right?
Right.
In the case that we can't get it funded through one of these other sources.
Yeah, we look back when the application was initially submitted, the city had committed $950,000 towards the project. Fortunately, we hadn't had to use any of it.
And we don't really want to cash that bond out unless we have to, but we could do that to finance this project if it came down to that. Or you could just get low interest bonds and just show that as interim financing, right?
Right.
So that's kind of what we did with the LDH loan. I think we. Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Everybody understands what's going on here. Okay. Any additional questions or comments? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you for moving fast on that call too. All right, number 13, to submit 4 names to fill 2 vacancies on the Abbeville Harbor and Terminal Board. The 2 vacancies are a result of Wayne LeBlue's resignation and the expiring term of Carlton Campbell. I think the way we should do this is let's submit 2 names for Wayne Blue, and then 2 names for Carlton Campbell. So
I'd like to recommend Joey Como for Wayne the Blues position.
okay, do we have a second?
I'll second that. I have
Okay.
space.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for Joey Como and Councilwoman.
Stacy Land.
I'll second
that.
Okay, so is that, y'all go with those 2 names for the first nomination?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so we're gonna vote on these 2 names for Wayne LaBlues. All in favor? Any opposed? Names carried. We're gonna submit those 2. Go, now for Carlton's seat.
Like,
Nominate
recommend
Mr.
Carlton
Carlton
Campbell
Campbell.
for his seat.
All right, I have a motion. I'm gonna just say motion by Councilwoman Bruce, second by Councilman Plaisance. Y'all okay with that? All right, we need a second name. You want to nominate one of these other 2 as the second name? Dick, Joey, or Stacy, which one? I mean, you can, there's nothing that says you can't nominate 2 names, but the same name twice, or do you, I mean, you can, I'm sorry, you have to abstain.
But you don't need to nominate anybody else out there.
You got it. I mean, I'm sure they gonna pick you, but we still gotta give a second name, so.
Double down.
You want to put Stacy again, or what you have somebody? You have somebody else? Oh.
You gotta put some on.
We have to put a second name. They have to live within the taxing district of Harbor and Terminals, just in case y'all didn't know that.
Can I just nominate a sister?
Does she live in the city? Yeah, you can. You think she would serve?
She would kill me.
I just need a second name so we can vote. Anybody in the audience want to submit their name?
What is it?
Harbor and Terminal? Oh, well, that's a long, Harbor and Terminal, is a taxing authority. It's an individual taxing authority that, and I might screw this up, but I'm sure Nick Cotro's gonna call me and fix me in the morning if I do it. So Harbor and Terminal, district basically runs, north by Sandpit Road all the way down to the coast. Does it go all the way to the coast? I know it goes at least to Intracoastal City. It goes east, it meets up with Twin Parish Port. It certainly encompasses, I don't know the west boundary. I don't know if the Vermilion River, Mr. Jean, do you know that?
It is,
Kim?
it's either 167 or the.
Yeah, and so that's the taxing authority. So if you look at your, property tax, you all pay in property tax if you live within those boundaries to the Abbeville Harbor and Terminal. They were created to, I don't think they were originally created to build the port, but they built the port of Vermilion, which is south of Abbeville. It's 5 miles south of Abbeville on the Vermilion River. And they maintain dock spaces there that they rent out to companies that need access to the water. They also are responsible for creating economic development opportunities and jobs within their district. And normally those jobs should be tied to industries or services that are tied to, that I should let Carl, I see him shaking his hand, I should let him go. Should be jobs created for companies that have to access water otherwise, or in relation to marine services and industry.
I'll nominate
Drew?
I'll
Oh,
nominate Drew.
Drew, you accept the nomination?
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? Drew Bodwin? The second name is Drew Bodwin.
Now we can do it.
Now go verify you live within the district. All right, so so now we're gonna take a vote on Carlton Campbell and Drew Bodwin as the second 2 names for Harbor and Terminal. All in favor? Any opposed? Carries. That's the names that we're gonna submit. Board, please make sure with Kathy or whoever that letter gets submitted to them. Item number 14, discussions pertaining to House Bill 1038. I'm going to turn the floor over to Deputy Marshall.
Thank you.
Got it?
There was
Reggie,
some recent legislation that just came down, House Bill 1038. About 2 years ago, the Louisiana Legislative Auditors, did a poll of all the marshal's offices in the state of Louisiana. And what that audit revealed is that there's a lot of marshals who have no accountability to the local government. And so what this bill is doing, if a marshal's office is serving a population of under 40,000, less than 40,000, then the city council and the mayor's office now has oversight over the marshal's office. So now the council is going to be responsible to ensure that there's budgeting for the marshal's office, and also the council is going to be in charge of how many commissions can be given to, on each particular year to the marshal's office. What this bill does is this bill is taking away the criminal authority of the marshal's office. So again, this does not apply to any municipality that serves 40,000 or more. But what it does, it puts the marshal's office as civil officer. So that means that our powers are only for civil matters. So evictions, any court orders, anything that's coming throughout the courts. Now, the catch to that is the governing authority can pass an ordinance and give those powers, those full powers back to the marshal's office. And when I say full powers, the only powers that we would basically be losing would be the authority to act on criminal matters. So that goes any kind of criminal matter you can think of. That's what this bill is removing, that authority. It doesn't take place until July 1st of 2027, but the city can pass an ordinance which would then give the marshal's office back those full powers.
I think it's July.
I'm sorry,
January
1st, 2027. Sorry, I meant to say July.
Okay.
January 1st, 2027.
So let me just give you a little summary. So they have a ordinance that Generette already passed, right?
Yes.
And so they wanted us to pass it here. It was my discussion with them and the city attorney that at that point, when we wrote the agenda, the governor had not signed the bill. So before we passed an ordinance, I wanted to make sure he didn't veto the bill, right? Then we would have done something and had to come back and rescind it. And we put this on just for discussion, so we're not gonna take action today, but my recommendation is moving forward, board pull that ordinance from Generette. It is we rely heavily on our marshal's office to assist, with all kinds of things. I know personally me, it's normally, traffic citations or other things when there's things going on. They're always back up and willing. What's your motto?
Marshal's office is there when needed.
Call them with there or something like that? No? Oh, no. So anyway, I fully support, y'all bringing the ordinance forward and reinstating the powers of marshal's office. I think Bart needs to do, some study now that the governor did sign it, so it's now enacted, it is now law. And so he needs to look at the Generette ordinance and work with Reggie and Jeremiah and bring it to ordinance committee, soon, but you have time, and then pass it, so we can reinstate. I'm sure y'all want to reinstate that.
And just to be clear, it doesn't strip all of the authority. You know, this bill would just take away the authority to assist the police department in criminal investigations and to affect arrests outside of court business. So just to be clear, so we still have powers of arrest, but as the bill is, it would only pertain to civil matters directly from the courts. But of course, you guys will be able to give us back those full powers.
It appears that when looking at the bill and the history with that, some of what I read, it seems like the auditors, when they presented their report, maybe there were some road marshal's officers across the state that they really just wanted to take the power from them and give it to the council. That's what they're doing. So while it does limit some of the things he's saying, it's not because the legislature wants to limit them from doing it. It was basically putting it in the hands of the
Local governing authority.
Right.
Determined with their marshal's officers.
Right, because they did find that there were some marshal's officers whose deputies were not post certified. For those who don't know what post certified is, every officer in the state of Louisiana has to go through a police academy. So there was deputy marshals who were not certified with their weapons. They hadn't been through the police academy. So, so as Bart said, that's just another way for them to get a handle on that stuff. You have something?
No, I just think you should go back to the next administration and explain that again.
Yeah.
With their covenants fine. Yeah, it can be.
I have no problem with that.
We like to have you.
I have no problem with that at all.
This is the bill, this is the action that I printed today after the governor signed it, so if anybody wants a copy of it, y'all can have it, I don't need it after today, but that's the act, so it's been signed into law. Okay, so thank you for that,
Thank you.
thank you for that, Deputy Hill.
Thank you, Reggie.
Have no doubt you'll have no problems getting support from the next mayor and the council. All right, item number 15, to adopt a resolution canceling the July 7th, 2026 regular city council meeting and calling a special city council meeting on July 14th, 2026 to allow time for certification of upcoming election results. Or you have the floor.
So, trying to see what the prior agenda item was when the recall for the election. So you can see number 6. So in line with number 6 and some of the things the mayor and myself had stated under that agenda item, the pushing back of the election, we have to now call a special election for District 8. We have 2 runoffs that haven't been decided. We just thought it would be prudent that no city business be conducted until the will of the people that was put forth in this last election is implemented and they take, I'm not aware of any pressing issues that a meeting has to take place on the 7th. I don't see any harm in moving it from the 7th to the 14th to give us the appropriate time. On the 14th, we would certainly have the city council that was duly elected. Not to mention I'll be on vacation the week of the 7th. So, I'll be happy to answer any other questions that y'all may have about that, but.
Councilwoman Broussard moved. Do we have a second? No second?
Swear it in on 7/7.
Just tell him don't write anything down yet. Okay, so we have no second. Where's Colton?
Thank you for when you eat.
Let's wait till he gets back. I didn't realize he stepped out when the call. Yeah. I didn't see that.
What about the other council?
I'm waiting. I didn't realize he stepped out whenever I said.
Motion is to change it. So this motion is to change it.
Yeah, there's another one.
They're gonna say that you listen
Let me explain, while we're waiting, let me explain why this is an issue, right? I'm gonna go ahead and explain it to y'all. So, rightfully, this same council might be sitting here with the exception of Councilman Hardy because he would be out of office after July 1st. But there's also a chance that 2 other council people would be sitting here, right? The problem with having the meeting on July 7th, aside from what Bart just said, is that we don't know when the Secretary of State is going to certify those results. So if you have your meeting on the 7th, it might be the morning of the 7th, they certify it, and you got to call the 2 new council people to come here and sit and take action because now they have the authority to vote and not the former one. So we don't know when those certifications of those, we don't even have the certifications of, I don't think we've gotten the certification of results from the primary yet, right?
I'm not aware. I mean, nobody here. The only one would be, Mary-elect.
Yeah.
And
So the reason, other than what Board said, is that you don't know who's going to have to be here on the 7th because we don't know who's going to be certified to take action at the table. And even though everybody, whoever wins the election can be sworn in on the 30th. That's before, I don't know if it was reported this way in the paper. So on the 30th, whoever wins the election, the whole council can be sworn in with the exception of seat A because it's going to be, it's not vacant yet and it can't be vacant. But the people who are sworn in cannot sit at this table and take action until the results are certified. And that certification comes to the Secretary of State, and we have no idea when y'all are gonna get that. There's no issue with the mayor sitting, so it will not be me as mayor. It will not be Councilman Broussard will certainly be here. But the reason that that board is suggesting this is because while they might be sworn in, they can't legally take action until the certification, the results are certified from the election. And so that's the reason for the potential postponing of it. It is it's, in my opinion, it's the best interest of the city that the certified elected officials sit at the first meeting of the new administration. I mean, that's.
And that you mentioned when we discussed that earlier, you mentioned it, you felt that you were doing the new administration a favor because the new mayor elect would certainly use that time to prepare for her first meeting and put together an agenda.
Yeah.
It was done out of, consideration for that.
Okay, I'm gonna call order to the meeting because there's comments up here, there's comments in the back. I'm gonna update Councilman. This is why we were waiting and I was explaining because Councilman Campbell walked out and I didn't notice. So I took a motion from Councilwoman Broussard to postpone. No one has second. Now that you're sitting at the table, does anybody want to second Councilwoman Broussard's motion to postpone?
I'll second it.
Okay, so now we have. We have a motion and a second. We will take a few more additional. Everybody keep it down, keep it down, keep it down. We have a motion and a second. Any additional questions or comments, and I'll do a roll call vote because I'm sure that's what Councilman Plaisance wants. But we will do any more questions or comments before we do that. Hearing none. I will start from my left. Councilman Campbell.
Yes.
Councilwoman Broussard.
Yes.
Councilman Broussard.
Yes.
Councilman Plaisance.
No.
Councilman Hardy.
Yes.
Okay, let the record reflect, we have 4 yeas, 1 nay, motion carried. All right, item number 17, 16, I can't read anymore. To adopt a resolution approving the assignment and assumption of a lease agreement with the city of Abbeville. It says has, with the aircraft Equipment Storage LLC, who has an asset purchase agreement with Maryland Aviation LLC, and authorizing the mayor to execute documents necessary to assign the lease accordingly. Board's got to cover this. Motion?
So,
Wait a
aircraft
second.
equipment,
Okay, a motion and a second. Go ahead, Board.
aircraft equipment storage currently owns and operates one of the hangars of the airport. And they would like to sell their assets. That's what I was. And they have a current lease with us. And, in order for them to be able to sell it, they have to get us to agree to allow them to execute an assignment of that lease that obligates them to the city, to this new party. So we basically be, changing who the lessee is under our lease. There's no reason, this is a good company that's buying it. They're gonna invest in the property, in the hangar. I mean, I recommend the council agree to, if you have any questions, I'll answer them for you, but we do the ground leases with the parties, and then they erect structures or build hangars or whatever, and then based on that, we can give them certain length of lease. Well, this new company, we wouldn't be able to give them the length of lease they need without this assignment.
Okay, anybody else have questions or comments on that?
So you recommend don't do it?
No, I recommend that, yeah. We're just basically changing who our lessee is at one of the hangars.
I think this is like the 5th time we've had to do this at the airport since I've been mayor, with different hangars, but. Yep. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. For items of new business, and there are no items of old business. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, though I have a little speech, so. All right, departmental reports, engineers, Todd,
I don't have anything else.
Kim,
Nothing.
nothing, okay. Attorney board,
Nothing legal, Your Honor.
I'll take
I'm
it,
not gonna
I'll
say
take
much,
it.
so I don't get emotional, but I
No,
wanna thank you for the last 4 years, us working together.
I'm
You
trying to
taking
well.
on you taking a chance on me. I know you didn't like it at first.
Mm.
Hopefully you come to appreciate me like I have you. So I wish you well in the
Thank
future.
you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you for that, Board.
Yes, Gord, appreciate it very much. He likes to say he trained me, but I like to say I trained him, so it's a common joke we have. All right, anything else for Gord? Not at this time. Gord will be out of town the first week of July on his annual family vacation, so that's another benefit.
But I will be available by email and phone if y'all need anything.
Don't see you.
Okay, item, number 3, Public Works Director, Chris.
Of course. Make me endure the pain. First of all, thanks to the mayor for supporting Public Works for 4 years. My work is really appreciated. I appreciate it. Thanks. Good luck in the future. And next of all, thanks to Councilman Hardy for always supporting us, for being respectful, for understanding that things don't happen right away, and for rewarding the guys with some budgetary money for tools and stuff like that. So thank you and good luck to you. Enjoy Mo.
Parks and Rec, Byron.
So, this week, we continue with American Legion Baseball and Metro Baseball. They're actually playing right now. So that's going on tonight. They also play again on Thursday. The other thing is with our all-star teams going on right now, the girls all-star teams will be participating in the super regional is it Eunice? Or are they going this weekend or?
It's units, but I don't think it's super regional. I think it's just section.
Yeah, the wording's different or whichever level they're at. They're in Eunice this weekend. But here in Abbeville at Como Park, starting tomorrow through Sunday, a 5-day tournament. We'll be hosting a pony district tournament. There's going to be a total of 25 teams coming to Abbeville between Wednesday and Sunday. Winners from this tournament moves on to the super regional tournament at Youngsville. And from there, they'll go to a zone and then World Series if they continue winning. One of our local teams is kind of expected to win this tournament this weekend, so hopefully we'll have some representation moving on. Other than that, same as well, Mr. Tony, nice working with you for the past couple years. Mayor White, of course, we've had a long road that's happened, and I appreciate everything that you have done for the city of Abbeville as well. Chris walked out, but with this tournament coming up, his team really put in some work at the park today. Of course, we're battling Mother Nature. So this is, if you're looking at me now and I look like a zombie, is you just don't know what's going to happen in these 5 days. And it's a lot to have to brainstorm of if this happens or if that happens. Other than that, I saw a hand and.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be Q&A.
Yes, it's not supposed to be. Let me ask you, have any questions? I do. Do you know when a splash pad is gonna be open?
Splash Pad is normally open Monday, actually 7 days a week.
That's actually a question for Chris Gotro. I'll ask him to cover it when he comes back in, why it's been closed.
Okay, thank you.
Especially the bathroom.
Yeah, that's definitely.
I'll let Chris Gotro answer that when he gets back in.
Any other questions or comments? Or?
Thank you, Byron.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Byron.
Okay, I'm gonna get some more work done at home.
I have some slides, but I'm not gonna do them. I'm gonna let Councilman Broussard do them when he gets to him. You don't want, this is the event, so I'm gonna let you cover them, because I have a speech, so, sorry, y'all. I'm gonna try to get through this without crying. So first and foremost, as I said in the beginning, please keep Councilman-elect Neil Richard and his wife and family and friends in your prayers. That was a very tragic loss for them, tragic loss for the city, our whole community. I don't know anybody who met Neil and didn't love him. So we will certainly miss, and I was looking forward to seeing everything he was planning to do for the city of Abbeville. As most of you know, this is my last meeting, and I just wanted to take some time to say, it's been an honor to represent Abbeville as your mayor, and what a ride it's been. Thank you to all of those who elected me in 2018 and again in 2022, and thank you to those who voted for me in 2026. Most importantly, I need to thank my family and friends. I know the pain you have endured watching me follow my dream. And for that, I am both sorry and grateful for your strength and unwavering support. I could not be here without you. I've been asked a lot, what have I accomplished that I'm most proud of? And we've accomplished so much, sometimes it's hard to narrow it down. But I will say what I'm most proud of is that nothing that we've accomplished would have been possible without our team. And what I'm most proud of is actually the evolution of the culture we've created here in the city of Abbeville, in city government. I've witnessed so much individual growth from our team, giving them the support and tools they need to succeed and getting out of their way and letting them find their own way and do their job. They now take pride in their work. I'm watching their confidence grow and setting a higher standard by holding each other accountable. That's what I'm most proud of. Together, we have proven what can be accomplished when government moves at the speed of business. And it does not happen without vision and grit and determination and a great team of support. So thank you to every one of those of our city team members who rose to the challenge, who believed in the vision and have worked hard every day to make it happen. I've also been asked what's next for me, and I can honestly say I do not know. I didn't see this one coming. My magic 8 ball must be broken. But for now, I'm going to take a long overdue break for some much needed rest. So thank you all for your prayers and outpouring love and support. I wish the residents and the city of Abbeville best of luck with their new leader, Mayor-elect Levy, and the city council. I am so looking forward to seeing what's in store for the future of Abbeville. Thank you for having me. That's enough. Police chief, my party.
I don't have anything today. Very nice speech. Like Tony said, you'll be okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Any questions?
Okay, fire chief, our newly appointed permanent fire chief, Doris Longwood.
Mayor and council, again, thank you for this confidence and this opportunity. Mayor, you talked about culture, and culture is also something that's very important in the fire department. And us having a strong culture is something that takes our own integrity and our own accountability and our own professionalism of providing a public service and being good public servants of Abbeville. For those of you moving on, for myself and everyone at the fire department, we certainly thank y'all for the service y'all have provided to our town. Thank y'all. Any questions?
Any questions for chief?
Thank y'all.
Topics for discussion. I'm going to start with Councilman Hardy since it's his last meeting. So.
Well, mine's not gonna be quite as long as yours, man, and I'm not gonna cry.
Y'all want me to answer splash pad? I don't want to steal your thunder, but y'all want that question answered?
Yeah.
Splash pad? The reason why it's closed sometimes is because of the threat of weather. Metal poles and water and lightning don't go good for kids. Parents don't take their kids off the splash pad. So as a responsible adult, we make the determination to lock the gate. Okay, bathrooms. Okay, we all know what happens in bathrooms.
Yeah.
I'm sure y'all don't like to clean other people's crap off the walls.
Me, I know about.
So, we probably close the bathroom for a few days just to close the bathroom because my guys don't deserve cleaning that kind of stuff up. If you can't use a public bathroom and flush it like you're supposed to and keep it in the toilet, I'm sorry. I mean, my guys are not dogs. And I'm gonna stand behind that. I built a team at the park that takes care of that care about their work, and they're human beings. So I get calls sometimes, and I'm gonna admit it. One time they didn't open it because they forgot. They forgot because they were working, getting ready for a baseball tournament, getting ready for the weekend at Williams Park. So since the guy that forgot, we've now assigned one guy to it and gave him some responsibility. He had no responsibility before. Now he has responsibility. Take care of the splash pad, open it. The guy switched in the afternoon on closing it. So that's the reason why, if you got calls, and that's the reasons why. Okay?
I didn't get any calls, but Ms. St. Julian asked the question, so I just wanted you
Yeah.
to answer because I haven't even asked for an update. I've been busy, so Chris.
And the time that they forgot to open it, I apologize for that. I'll take the blame. I'm their supervisor. But they're human. So I've been on Facebook for the past year and I'm still alive, so.
But take the heat, Chris. All right, first off, I want to thank my wife in the back there. She put up with all this, meetings. I came home and griped about and talked about and didn't understand or I understood them. Didn't go right or I did go right. Either way, I love you and thank you, babe. The council. Thank all of y'all for helping me along, because this was new to me. I've done a lot of stuff, but counseling, this is my first go at it. And I had a good time with it, but I mean, I'd carry myself in another direction. That's all I can say. Man, like I told you, you're gonna land on your feet. Chris, thanks for helping me, brother. My job would have been rough without you. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what we're here for.
Mr. Gene and all of y'all, thank y'all, man. It was great working with y'all. And I would really want to thank the people, District 8, for putting me in this spot. I hope I helped everybody that called me in a diligent manner. I had a good time with it, but like I said, the city is gonna put somebody that can do the job. Thank y'all.
This is highly irregular, but Mr. Jean's standing, and I think he's earned the right to say something. Go ahead, Mr. Jean.
I don't know how else to grade you, except by the time that I spent working for the city. It's just 60 years we worked for the city. And I guess I gotta rank you in the top 10 of mayors that I served with. Congratulations.
Appreciate that. I'm a little disappointed it's not the top 3, but okay.
Well, I still have an election. I can't say much here, but I want to say that it's such a wonderful pleasure to have Stuart back on staff. Be careful out there, Stuart, don't get hurt. We need you really bad. And I want to thank, also I want to thank Bridget for opening the park this afternoon. I think we closed it probably because of the weather this morning, right? Is that why it was closed? Yeah. Is that why it's closed? But she opened it this afternoon and people want to fish out there, so I'm glad they got an opportunity to do that. I'd like to say it was a pleasure working with Tony. And I'd like to wish the mayor the best of luck as she moves on. She's done a really good job here, and the evidence is there. That's all I have. Thank you.
Councilman Broussard.
We've got the notes, the city events, Friday, June 19th. City Hall will be closed for the honor of Juneteenth. Saturday on June 20th, we have our great market in Magdalen Square. Save the Ville Community Day in McKinley Scott Park. Community Wellness Event, 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. The Vermilion Women's Resource Center. Early voting for the 27th election, June 12th until June 20th. The polls are open from 8:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Closed Sunday, June 14th, and Friday, and June 19th. Check your sample ballot and early voting location at govote.com. Election Day is June 27. Polls open at 6 a.m. Find your polling place and sample ballot at www.govote.com or the mobile app. City Hall will be closed Friday, July 3rd in honor of Independence Day. Next city council meeting will be July 14th at 5:30 p.m. here in the city council room. I will give a couple of comments. Elections come and go every 4 years. It is our employees, it is our superintendents, and it is our directors who keep the city running. So please, please, whether you're talking to a fireman, a police, a public works department employee, or one of the wonderful city hall workers, that's how the city keeps working in spite of election results. So thank you, and we'll see you after July 1st. And please, for only $10 a ticket, come to our Patriotic Day on June 26th, right downtown, where you can meet George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and a whole bunch of other historical figures. That'll be on Concord Street. That'll be in front of the courthouse and back of the courthouse. Uniforms, speeches. It'll be great. You can get your $10 ticket at Chloe Rose on Main Street. Hope to see you there. It's going to be a wonderful afternoon. The first tour starts at 5:30 p.m. and they go until 7 or 7:15 that evening. Hope everyone joins me there. It ought to be very educational. Thank you.
Councilwoman Broussard. Yes, quick and in a hurry. Tony, it's not goodbye. I hope I see you when I'm driving through Maurice. Best wishes to you in your future endeavors. Mayor White, best wishes to you in your future endeavors. May God always bless you, always. And just want to add, moving forward in the future, I know that we touched on this. I'm deeply saddened by Mr. Neal's passing. I was looking forward to really working with him. But moving forward, I'm just going to ask you guys, some of you, let's have some dignity and some pride and respect when we lose an elected official or a sitting person. Let's not be so hasty and in a hurry to start playing the political game and opening doors. And let's have some respect. Learn to have some respect and decency for families that are grieving. That's it.
Thank you, Councilwoman. And Councilman Campbell.
Thank you, Mayor. It was a pleasure serving with you It was very hard to get in your office sometimes. I was just able to get in your office when I wanted to lately. Tony, welcome to the club because you were quiet and I was quiet during the council meeting. I never said much, but I analyzed, and you said a little bit, but you were at the point. But I didn't say much because I analyzed. If I couldn't add anything to the conversation, I kept my mouth shut. But don't think I wasn't thinking. And if I'm not here on July 14th, well, I'll probably be in Europe someplace.
Me too. Maybe me too. Not together. All right. Meeting adjourned.